We love to believe we're rational beings, that we evaluate options logically, weigh the evidence, and calmly choose the right path. But if we're honest, most of our decisions are based on assumptions, emotion, ego, and incomplete information. Then, once we make a choice, we judge ourselves solely on how it turns out, ignoring whether the process that got us there was good or bad. In her powerful book, Thinking in Bets, Annie Duke, former professional poker player turned decision strategist, gives us a fresh and highly practical way to approach decision-making. Her message is clear. If you want to make better decisions in an uncertain world, you have to stop thinking in terms of right or wrong and start thinking in bets. Let's begin with the first and most important lesson. A good decision can lead to a bad result, and a bad decision can still turn out well. This sounds counterintuitive. We're trained to equate outcome with quality. If something worked out, we believe it must have been the right decision. If it failed, we assume it was the wrong one. But Duke calls this resulting, a deeply flawed way of thinking. Imagine betting on a strong poker hand and losing because your opponent got lucky on the final card. The outcome was bad, but your decision was statistically solid. Now flip it. Imagine making a reckless bet and winning anyway. The result was good, but the logic behind your action was flawed. This exact same principle applies to everyday life: job offers, investments, relationships, health decisions. If you want to improve how you make choices, you have to stop using hindsight as your main tool. You need to shift your focus from judging the results to evaluating the process that led to them. Did you ask the right questions? Did you gather enough data? Did you let bias cloud your judgment? The second lesson builds on this. Uncertainty is not the enemy, it's the environment. Most of us crave certainty. We want guarantees. We want to know that if we make the right choice, things will go our way. But life doesn't work like that. The world is messy. Outcomes are affected by randomness, timing, and other people's actions. Annie Duke urges us to embrace probabilistic thinking. That means understanding decisions as bets, based on what you know at the time, not on whether you can predict the future. If you decide to invest in a business, or move to a new city, or turn down an opportunity, you're placing a bet that one option will serve you better than the others. But no bet is ever 100%, and that's okay. By thinking in probabilities, saying things like, "I'm 70% confident this will work out," you open the door to curiosity, caution, and flexibility. You stop pretending you know everything. You start planning for a range of outcomes. And when things don't go as expected, you're not crushed, you're prepared. The third critical insight is this: your biggest obstacle to good decision-making is your own ego. As humans, we are not natural truth seekers. We're natural self-protectors. We want to feel smart, competent, and in control. So when we're wrong, we make excuses. When we're right, we take all the credit. We filter new information to fit our existing beliefs, and we selectively remember what makes us look good. Duke warns that this psychological habit, called motivated reasoning, can destroy the quality of our decisions. We justify bad ideas because they align with our identity. We reject helpful feedback because it hurts our pride. We avoid risk not because it's unwise, but because it threatens our self-image. To escape this trap, we need to choose truth over comfort. That means welcoming disagreement, seeking out different perspectives, and being willing to say, "I don't know." It also means building a circle of people, what Duke calls a decision pod, who will help you think clearly instead of just confirming your beliefs. These people aren't cheerleaders, they're challengers, and that makes all the difference. The fourth lesson is about learning. Mistakes aren't failures, they're feedback. Most people make a decision, get a result, and then move on. But to truly improve, you need to track, revisit, and reflect. You need to document what you knew at the time, what assumptions you made, and what you do differently next time. Duke suggests keeping a decision journal. Each time you face a meaningful choice, write down your reasoning, the alternatives you considered, and how confident you are. Then, weeks or months later, revisit it. See what worked, see what didn't, and most importantly, see whether your thinking process was sound, regardless of how things turned out. Over time, this builds a library of experience you can draw on. It reveals your blind spots. It shows you which types of decisions you excel at and which ones you consistently misjudge. And it trains your brain to value reflection over reaction. Now, the fifth and final lesson is the one that ties it all together. Great decision makers don't aim to be perfect. They aim to improve a little at a time. In poker, even the best players lose hands. The goal isn't to win every round. It's to make slightly better decisions more often than your opponents. Over the long run, those small edges compound. The same applies to life. You won't always make the right call, but if you build habits around clear thinking, reduce emotional bias, and stay committed to the process, you will outperform most people, not by being flawless, but by being consistently intentional. This doesn't mean being slow or indecisive. In fact, thinking in bets helps you act faster because it frees you from the illusion of certainty. You know the risks, you've thought through the variables, and you're ready to adapt if the outcome isn't what you hoped. In conclusion, Thinking in Bets isn't just a book about poker. It's a powerful philosophy for decision-making in every area of life. It teaches you to separate process from outcome, to embrace uncertainty instead of fearing it, to seek truth over comfort, to treat mistakes as learning tools, and to aim for progress, not perfection. So the next time you face a difficult choice, whether in business, relationships, or your personal goals, try asking yourself, what bet am I making? What are the odds? How can I increase my edge? Because the truth is, life is a series of bets. Every decision you make is a move on the board. And the people who win over time aren't the ones who avoid all mistakes. They're the ones who make fewer unforced errors, who learn from every move, and who keep improving their game, one smart decision at a time.